At this point, you're probably really sick of the word death grip. It's kind of been the buzzword in the smartphone world for the last few months. You probably also heard all about Apple's tests on other phones. Apple claims that you can kill a phone's signal by simply holding it a certain way, like the iPhone 4. We decided to put Apple's claims to the test and came up with our own results. We took 5 smartphones, including the iPhone 4, up to lovely Twin Peaks in San Francisco, California, where there's a very, very low signal, and conducted our own tests. Let's take a look at the results. The first test we conducted was signal strength loss. We looked at how much the phone's dBms, which is decibels per millisecond, go down when you hold it in the death grip versus when you hold it normally. The phone that did the worst was the Samsung Captivate, which is on the AT&T network. The Captivate had a negative 37% decrease in signals, shifting from negative 81 to negative 111 dBm. Now, for comparison's sake, negative 51 is a good number to have for signal strength. So that's a pretty big loss. The Nexus 1 and Motorola Droid only lost marginal amounts of signal strength in their death grips, at negative 62% and negative 93% respectively. The iPhone 4 didn't qualify for this test because there's no way to measure dBms in iOS 4. In order to do that, you'd have to revert your phone back to iOS 3, and even that isn't entirely accurate. For data speed, we use the FCC-endorsed Ookla app for testing download speeds. It's a free app, and it's available for the iPhone and Android phones. Like our previous test, we compared the download speeds when we hold the phone normally versus when we hold it with the death grip. Out of all the phones, the iPhone did dramatically the worst. When I did the death grip, I couldn't even get the app to connect at all. The Captivate did slightly better than the iPhone. It was still able to connect when we had it in the death grip, but it was still pretty low. The Nexus 1 performed fairly well in our download tests. While it dropped significantly in the death grip, it was still able to connect to the app's servers. The Motorola Droid X, on the other hand, was the standout performer. Our voice quality tests were a little bit more subjective. Basically, what we did was we called the Wise surf report in San Francisco and then tried to choke the phone by holding in the death grip. We looked at a decrease in voice quality, whether the call was jittery, staticky, and whether the call dropped at all. iPhone 4, we were able to completely kill the call. It went out pretty quickly, the voice quality rapidly deteriorated, and then the phone just dropped the call. The other phone that dropped the call, surprisingly, was the Nexus 1. We were able to choke it out in about less than 15 seconds. The other phones, we saw a bit of voice deterioration. The phone that did the best, again, was the Droid X. The Samsung Captivate didn't drop the call, but it did get very, very staticky to the point where we couldn't even understand what the surf report was. So in some respects, Apple was right. You can totally choke a phone by holding it a certain way. The problem is, these phones' antennas are located in places where you wouldn't hold your phone naturally. Like if you're holding your phone at the top, you're probably going to hit the volume rocker. And gripping it in a certain way is just not a natural feeling. When you're holding your phone at the bottom, though, like the iPhone 4, your fingers are naturally going to go to this death grip area where the antenna is, especially when you're making a phone call. It was a major design fail on Apple's part, and I hope it's fixed in the future. I'm Ginny Meese. Thanks for watching.